They take me to the floor, they kick my face, they kick my back.
If you're Jewish, you're more likely to be targeted for a hate crime than any other religious or ethnic group. 8 times more than if you were Muslim, 40 times more than if you were Hindu.
I got threatened to pour acid on my face.
I've spent the last few weeks in Golders Green, which has seen some of the most shocking and violent attacks.
Where is the outrage? Where is the support from other communities?
Meeting families.
It does seem on the outside weird that you'd want to go to a war zone. People there worry about us.
And on the ground with a volunteer security patrol.
This is right now.
Right now. Stop recording, guys.
To understand the impact and reality of living in one of Britain's main Jewish hubs. I began by having lunch with some members of Shomrim, a volunteer security force in the area.
No other community has to sit down like weeks in advance and know, wow, we're going to have so many people coming out of shul, synagogue, after prayers. What are our risks and the risk assessments of people walking home, and how many patrols do we have to have?
Shomrim are usually first on the scene during attacks, like the recent stabbings. They try to protect the community until the police arrive.
They're doing a fantastic job and we're extremely grateful and we salute the police. However, there is an issue with prosecution. When the convoy came from Birmingham screaming the slurs that they were, F the Jews, rape your daughters, that trial ended up with no prosecution. There was a knife attack after October 7th in a grocery store on Hamilton Road. He was let off for mental health. The arson attacks, which are taking place in all the synagogues recently, and after Tzala ambulances were burnt, a lot of them are out on bail.
We were less than half an hour into our Sunday lunch when this happened.
You can put this live. I've just received a message from my wife saying, my daughter's on the bus, and if someone's screaming Adolf Hitler to her, who do we call?
This is right now.
Right now, I'm just going to pick up the phone. Hello? Right, where are they now? 210 bus to Brent Cross.
Stop recording, guys.
Within seconds, they were out of the restaurant and into their cars.
I'll take my car.
By the time we arrived at the scene, Shomrim had found the suspects, who'd allegedly been making Nazi salutes, praising Hitler and threatening the group of girls. The police had arrived and detained the group of teenagers.
Well, there's 4 calls come out, one in Hendon Park, one in the park here, and one in Brent Cross, and this one here. And everyone is from the community is riled up and super anxious with what's going on. So I don't want to hear anything about, let's just step things aside. We need action, okay? This cannot happen. It cannot go on.
I spoke with the girls who were on the bus.
And they were kind of saying Hitler didn't manage to get to you, but we're going to come, and it was a bit scary. It was scary. Everyone was on the bus and they were shouting quite loudly, but no one did anything. So we thought if going downstairs wouldn't really help, we would just come more down.
So nobody said anything?
No, and they were shouting quite loud. Hearing things like this and seeing them, then it just makes you feel less there's a future for Jews in London, and maybe it'd be better off somewhere else, and it just makes us feel less safe. Also that it's gotten to this point where people are not ashamed to do it, and they just do it in front of everyone publicly, and they just shout it as if it's okay.
Incidents like this have an immeasurable impact on young minds.
Maybe I would be more careful going on buses and going to these places. Maybe I can still go to Brent Cross, but I wouldn't go it maybe a bit less often, but I would try to avoid these things.
Later that night, an even more violent attack. Shalev, who's Israeli, was visiting friends and family. He was approached at 2 a.m. by a group wearing masks. I spoke with him a few days into his recovery. He doesn't want his full face shown.
They take me to the floor, they kick my face, they kick my back. They check if I'm Jewish or something like that. They don't stop around 5-6 minutes, and I just, in few seconds, close my eyes and defend myself like that. Talk with the guy for a few seconds and tell just. don't they don't have a knife or something like that, or they don't gonna kill me. Or who people go with like that, with masks and hoodies and in the heart of the Jewish area? What are they doing here? They want to do something like dark time in Europe, like 1940. It feels like that. I want to bring a big message to Europe, to the world, because I so worry about this community and I so love this community.
Where is the outrage? Where is the support from other communities? And it's almost like, if it's Jewish people, it's okay. If it was any other minority, any other anything, it's almost like more of an outrage. But where is the support for the Jewish community? Where are all the good people? Why is everyone staying silent? Why is no one screaming and shouting? Where is the safest place in London to be Jewish if it's not Golders Green? But it's not anymore. It's terrifying.
Across dinner tables in Golders Green and other Jewish areas, there are regular conversations about whether to leave the UK. NHS Dr. Baruch and Daniela are packing up. They went to Heaton Park Synagogue in Manchester, the scene of a terror attack last year, and were minutes from the recent one in Golders Green.
Free Palestine. I get shouted at, you don't belong here. That was shouted at me about 2 weeks ago when I was on my way to work. When I was in Manchester, I got shouted that I got threatened to pour acid on my face from a passing car. And I was just walking around with my kippah on. No Israel memorabilia or anything on me. It was nothing, it was just as a Jewish person. It is very scary to me that I have met doctors who have said that they will not point blank treat somebody who has come from certain areas of the world. If they are dying in A&E, I've been told by doctors that if they're from Israel, then they will not treat that person. That to me is disgraceful.
Your family have been here for something like 400 years, right?
Yeah, they've been here since Oliver Cromwell. They were let back in when the Jews were allowed.
And you're the last one.
And of my family, I'm the last one to leave. And I suppose ending that dynasty is quite sad because growing up here in northwest London, I never thought I'd be scared to live as a Jew, walking around with a cap on, if I'm with my daughter, not showing that I'm openly Jewish. That's something that I never thought about growing up.
The question, for many considering leaving, is where to go. Many in the Jewish community strongly disagree with the Israeli government. Many also feel a strong religious and cultural connection. That is where Baruch and Danielle are moving.
Going to Israel for us is about our kids being able to go to school without worrying about their safety, our kids celebrating Hanukkah, Passover without being worried about any verbal or physical abuse. And I think that for us going, it's a wonderful thing because experiencing a Jewish life for us, I think, will be a lot richer.
It does seem on the outside weird that you'd want to go to a war zone. People there worry about us. They ask us, how are we coping with the antisemitism? You never know when some random person's going to come out on the street and stab you or set fire to something. That's when you have to be worried.
Everyone I spoke with in Golders Green felt proudly Jewish and proudly British. Flags fly from every lamppost here. This country has long been considered a haven, but for how much longer? In response to our report, the Department of Health said, "These reports are shocking. It is unacceptable that people do not currently feel safe working in and using the health service. The government has been clear that change is needed and that the medical, healthcare, professional regulatory system is failing to protect Jewish patients and NHS staff. That's why the Prime Minister ordered an urgent review." The Crown Prosecution Service said, "Antisemitism has no place in our society, and we are determined to help combat the increasing levels of hate crime. We continue to work closely with police to ensure cases are reviewed promptly and, where appropriate, brought before the courts as quickly as possible."